All right, do I look good? Beard, everything. All right, guys, welcome to the channel. I've got some exciting news for you, so let's get to the video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dale, and I'll be your host here at Dale Frazier Photography. As many of you know, we've been working on a whole series of videos basically teaching you how to run your camera in manual mode so that you can get the best performance you can out of your camera. In this week's video, we've also been doing the photo assignment for Unit 1 from the New York Institute of Photography. Our last image that we need to do video-wise is stop motion. Guys, I've got to kind of pause and stop right here. As many of you know, I've talked to you about the Nifty 50 and what a great lens I think that it is. Here's my dilemma, and here's kind of why I've been kind of dragging my feet on this video, and I think this is the best way to just put it out there. Is number one of the things that I wanted to do for stop motion is going to be with bird photography. This past winter I went out and I built a bird blind. I also put up a bird feeder, a bird waterer, and everything else to try to attract some of the local birds so that I could do some backyard bird photography here in my own backyard. So that's one of the things that I have as a goal of mine this year, along with the nature and wildlife photography, is see if I can't get some great images of some birds. So part of that, I'm not using the 50mm lens. So I'm just going to tell you, I do have a 100 to 400 lens that we've had, and we bought that lens many years ago. That's a lens that I already had in my arsenal, and that's why I've been kind of dragging my feet. I'm not going to try to suggest that you guys go out and buy a wildlife lens, but that's what we're going to do for stop motion. My goal is to try to get a handful of birds with their wings up in the air, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples real quick of some things that I learned while I was working with these birds that I have over the last month or so, even before I even knew what the assignment was going to be. And we did go ahead and we caught some more birds after the assignment had came out. Okay guys, so for a real quick recap on shooting in manual mode, you guys know that if you adjust your aperture down one direction, you're going to have to change your shutter speed in the other direction. And essentially the reason that we're going to go over this is because this is going to be one of those times where if you need to get your aperture up high enough so that you have enough depth of field for the movement of the bird, but you also need your shutter speed up high enough, if you're raising both of them up, you're going to have to raise that pyramid of your ISO up, which means you're going to have to shoot in a higher ISO, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, just go outside and try to get an f9 and try to get 1/500th of a second minimum, and then adjust your ISO until your light meter and your camera is leveling out. And that'd be the easiest way to explain it, because we're going to be using basically all three this time. As you guys know, shooting with the Rebel XT, we try to keep it as low ISO as we can, but there's going to be times when you're going to have to raise the ISO up to meet the demands of the image that you're trying to create or make. Real quick, I'm just going to throw out some generic numbers here to kind of give you a good starting point for backyard bird photography, and this is kind of what I've noticed in my backyard working with the birds, whether it be a bright sunny day or a kind of a cloudy day. And my very first day I was out there, it was kind of rainy, so it was more of a cloudy day the very first day. But you want at least a minimum, especially with the smaller birds, you want a 1/500th of a second or higher, 1/500th of a second or higher on your shutter speed to stop the motion of the birds. And to be honest with you guys, if you can get it up even higher, I mean, I think there's one or two of these images that you're going to see where we're closer to 1/200 or 1/2000th of a second. So these are just good starting points, and that's half the fun with doing this stuff, especially in your backyard. It doesn't cost you anything to practice. We're going out and practicing, and we're going to figure out and we're going to nail this stuff. And by the end of the summer, we're going to have a good portfolio with nothing but some really cool birds we got in our backyard. Shooting in manual mode, what I found to be about right for the depth of field with that with a 400 millimeter lens that I was using. I had to be around f9. F9, my target distance was roughly 30 feet away from the little blind that I built to set in so the birds don't see me. So where they're basically towards the food bowl, if you will, where they're landing, is about 30 feet. That 30-foot difference with the 100 to 400 lens that I'm using, f9, I would get enough depth of field so that if the bird, really, I kind of needed about 6-7 inches, depending on where he landed near the stump, which is this food bowl. F9 worked good, F11 worked good, but for this part of the lesson, we're following exactly like the New York Institute of Photography, where we're stop and motion only with the shutter speed, because it can be done with that as well, and it doesn't cost you any more money. You don't need additional equipment, and you can still make it work. But just for some general guidelines, again, F9 to F11. Again, guys, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. We've got some more stuff coming soon. If you guys haven't seen, we did post a video short, and I'll put a link up here to where you can go over and watch that. We did submit all 4 images for the assignment of Unit 1, and we've just completed taking our test for Unit 2, so we're going to be starting to do some of that. It's really quick. We're going to be getting into the fun. We've kind of got past the nuts and bolts of how to shoot in manual mode, and we're going to get to the creative stuff, which is much more fun, and I've been looking forward to this since I started this channel because I know where we're headed. Again, guys, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. We'll have another video coming out next week. We're going to start another lesson on Unit 2 from the New York Institute of Photography. But until then, go over and check out one of our playlists and watch one of those videos. We appreciate each and every one of you, and may you have a blessed week. And let's go shoot some stuff. So again, guys, it's all about just going out, getting out, having fun.